There is a voice inside you that is quieter than your thoughts, wiser than your fears, and more patient than your desires. Most people never hear it, not because it isn't speaking, but because the noise of the mind is too loud. This voice is what mystics, philosophers, and spiritual traditions across the ages have called the higher self. But what exactly is it? And more importantly, how do you actually hear it? The higher self is not a separate being living somewhere above you. It is the deepest, purest, and most expanded aspect of you. It is the part of your consciousness that is not limited by personality, fear, trauma, or the stories of this lifetime. While the ego is concerned with survival, identity, and control, the higher self is concerned with truth, growth, and alignment with the greater order of existence. In many traditions, the higher self is described as the eternal witness, the part of you that has always been watching, even when you were completely lost in the drama of life. It does not shout, it does not force, it simply knows. The ego speaks in the language of urgency, comparison, and fear. It says, "You need more. You are not enough. You must control this." The higher self speaks in the language of clarity, stillness, and quiet certainty. It rarely uses words at all. Instead, it communicates through sudden, deep knowing, a sense of rightness that cannot be explained, subtle pulls towards certain people, places, or decisions, a calm that remains even when the mind is chaotic. When you are identified with the ego, you feel restless and incomplete. When you are connected to the higher self, you feel strangely at home, even in uncertainty. This is not a new idea. In ancient Egypt, they spoke of the Ba and the higher aspects of the soul that could travel between realms. In Hinduism, the higher self is reflected in the concept of the Atman, the pure consciousness that is one with Brahman. Hermetic teachings describe a higher intelligence within that is connected to the divine mind of the cosmos. Even Carl Jung, though not a mystic in the traditional sense, spoke of the self as the organizing center of the psyche that guides the process of individuation. Across cultures and centuries, the same truth appears. There is a deeper intelligence within us that is not limited to the personality we call me. Hearing the higher self is less about learning a new skill and more about removing the noise. Here are the most consistent ways it communicates. First, through stillness. The quieter the mind becomes, the more clearly the higher self can be felt. This is why meditation, silence, and solitude have always been central to spiritual traditions. Second, through the body. The higher self often speaks as a felt sense, an expansion in the chest, a subtle yes or no in the gut, a calm that settles when a decision is right. Third, through synchronicity and intuition. When you are aligned, life begins to respond. The right book appears, the right person shows up. An idea arrives fully formed at the exact moment you need it. The higher self does not compete with the mind. It waits for the mind to become quiet enough to listen. The reason most people struggle to hear the higher self is not lack of ability. It is lack of trust. The ego is loud because it is afraid of losing control. It will create doubt, distraction, and endless thinking to keep you identified with it. Learning to hear the higher self is therefore an act of courage. It requires you to stop demanding constant certainty from the mind and start resting in a deeper knowing. The higher self is not something you need to find. It is something you need to remember how to hear. So the real question is this: in the quiet moments of your life, have you ever sensed a wisdom deeper than your thoughts? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Like and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.